What are the needs? The first bullet I'm going to put in here is that we need to be very careful what we're using in our research. Using real low doses and low dose rates is very important. And very related to this, very often I read papers, I peer review manuscripts, where researchers put their studies in the context of low dose radiobiology, radioprotection. They study low doses, they study intermediate doses, high doses. They don't read any effects at low doses. Sure enough, they see effects at high doses or intermediate doses, and they conclude that radiation is toxic or damaging without providing further context. Okay? And that's misleading, confusing. I know we researchers, we care about impact factors, about Hirsch indexes, etc., but we need to be responsible because a lot on the stake how we interpret our results and results of each other. So we should be very careful in reporting our results. In vivo studies, I think there's a consensus that in vivo studies are indispensable for understanding biological effects, health effects of low-dose radiation. Of course, there are issues such as mouse to human transition, conversion of the information. It's been mentioned today, the space talk, very nicely. But we need to find a way to do that. Another bullet, actually a big-time bullet. There are tens of millions of people who are exposed to low doses diagnostic imaging medical exposures. And many of these people are not ill, not sick patients. So there is a way to use these huge cohorts, much larger than A-bomb cohorts, to do epidemiological studies, but much better epidemiological studies than we do now. This would be direct, well-planned studies that take into account all the information, all the confounding factors. So that's a very, very huge opportunity for us. And the last bullet is about individual radiosensitivity. It's one of the priorities in European low-dose program, and it's very well justified because many of you probably were in Chicago last week, where the LNT debate was won by Francis Cucinotta in favor of LNT based on this argument. LNT, let's protect a few sensitive persons, even though we know that most will be okay. And LNT is love, all we need is love. So that refers to individual radiosensitivity. We need better understanding what people of what genetic variants are more sensitive. So maybe it actually speaks to the graded approach in radiation protection. Maybe these people will have different limits, lifetime limits. It could be possible. Not all, some of the uncertainty in epidemiological studies probably is coming from the individual radiosensitivity issues. And we have tools to address these questions. Okay, my concluding slide, big picture. So what we need is a strategic global agreement of the research agenda. We need to have a situation where whatever we do is agreed by all, by the radiobiological community, so that we don't repeat each other, and there is strategic understanding where we're going to. It will require global collaboration, no tissue wasted, no assays missed, etc. And I propose that it could be regulated at the funding level. When I submit a grant proposal and suggest to do this mouse study and look just at the effects in spleen, it should not be studied because I'm wasting the whole animal, which could be used to extract very useful information. And it could be also implemented at the publication policies. There are people in here who are editors and peer reviewers. If this kind of manuscript is submitted, we should be pointing that it's not a good science practice for low-dose radiobiology. We need public license for our research. We need to put our individual researchers' interest below the interests of the public, because to me, this morning session was, in a way, revealing, eye-opening session. not many researchers have this opportunity to realize what consequences their research can have, their conclusions can have. So it's very important, I believe. And we need continuous interaction and communication with the regulators, because we can educate each other, teach each other on what's going on in each other fields, because that's important, because it's not just about low-dose radiobiology, it's about a larger, bigger picture, bigger context.